Welcome back to the late shift with Jason Watkins on Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. And if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Welcome into the show, everybody. What do we got here? Why is JJF still employed? I like it. I do like it. It's a good question, man. Good question. I really couldn't tell you. It's kind of surprising to me too that it's still going on, but here we are. I will say this. We know one thing is that it wasn't a denial today from Jim Knowles when he was asked about, whether or not he would be taking over the Oklahoma defensive coordinator position. He's been tied to it for a while now, and obviously, Oklahoma definitely could have made that official and, went out and hired somebody by now. They didn't do so. I think that's clear that it looks to me as if there's possible that, it's going to be one of those kind of deals. Let's see what we got. Ken Sterling, welcome to the show. Sooner Legend Podcast. Auburn doomed forever. Yeah, funny. Daniel, let's see. Ken Sterling, goated, my guy. Nathan Campbell, Gary Wofford. What's up, fellas? What's up? Good to see everybody in here. And glad to see everybody's in here with us tonight. Let's go ahead and pop you guys' stuff up on the screen here. For now, let's see. Yep, there we go. John Mateer for Heisman. This one I like. Let's see. Feet White. That's what I'm talking about. Daniel, welcome into the show. Topher, boom. Sooner Legend. Let's see what else we got. Steven G. What's up, my guy? Hey, man. Good evening for everybody tonight. Listen, let's jump into this a little bit and talk about this. You could have added somebody a while back. You know what I mean? You could have added somebody a while back. You could have very easily had a defensive coordinator in place within a week of our guy, Zach Alley taking off and, making that little chicken shit move to West Virginia. He didn't. I think that it's clear that I think that Chris Mason said something that made a lot of sense to me the other night. And it was basically that, look, if you were going to not do this, or, if it was something, it didn't look like that, I would just tell you that to save face, you would have already pulled out of this deal. And all we heard from him today was say that he was focused on beating Notre Dame, bringing a national championship to Ohio State. He didn't say he was staying. He didn't say that there was no truth to the rumors, none of that kind of stuff. He just flat out didn't do it. So to me, I think he more or less is saying, yeah, we're in, we talking some smack? Crashes 101, you in here talking some smack, huh? Canceled your paid membership and unsubbed. Oh, well, that's a shame. We'll get on out there. I'm in here on the late night show and talking about stuff for Oklahoma. I could give a shit about the Sooner Surge, man. You guys, it's so funny. Oh, man. Gary has a good question for the screen. Why would Knowles leave Ohio State or dumpster fire at OU? This is what we're doing tonight? Okay. Is it a dumpster fire? It was a dumpster fire last year. I think it was a dumpster fire last year. But that's not what I would call it moving forward, especially if you get a guy like Knowles. If you look at this defense and you can tell me that that's a dumpster fire, then there's something wrong with you. If you can look at this roster with John Mateer on it and some of the guys that they brought in that are going to be playing receiver, the running backs that you have and an offensive line that's young, athletic, and ready to rock and roll, and you think that this is a dumpster fire? Okay, cool. It just goes to show you that just what did I say on that? You know what that video was more about than it was about the damn Sooner Surge, guys? It was about the unbelievable hard time that people have putting any context next to anything. Any whatsoever. And that's the beauty of it, though. I could give a shit, man. It is what it is, guys. You guys can sit here and make it about those guys at the Surge. I could give a crap about those dudes, man. I can tell you this. They were talking about me for freaking the last 2 months, and it's the first time I've really said anything about it. And I was in there just participating in their show. That's it. I'm not going to sit here and do this. I'm not going to sit there and do this. I didn't go in there and check out their show tonight. Why did I need to? I don't care to get the show. The show is for you guys to go in there and just throw up all the BS negativity that you can possibly do. That's all you do. You don't, none of you ever have any, I mean, absolutely any context to put with it. You don't have anything to back up what you're saying. You just come in and say stupid shit like 6-6 and they're out of here again. 6-6 and they're out of here again. All negativity all the time. And over what? You can really gonna blame all of this on Brent Venables? I'm not saying that he's complete. And first off, he doesn't get a free pass around here anyway. Brent Venables does not get a free pass for me. He doesn't. I've questioned the way that they've done things. I definitely questioned the hire when it came to Seth Luttrell the entire time. You know? Yeah, I can sit here and back up everything that I say and the reasons why I believe that Oklahoma is going to turn it around. And here's the other thing that I know. At some point, they will pull the plug and get somebody else if he can't get it done. The idea that they're just going to let them, continue to not win football games. But I fail to understand how you guys can actually talk about the first year as if that was his football team, that he built that one himself. It was his fault. It was all Brent Venables' fault that they went 6-6 in the regular season, went 6-7 overall. 45 players off the roster. The soon-to-be Heisman Trophy winner, one of them. The other 5-star quarterback that started the season off, gone. The best defensive players that you had on the team, they were all gone. And they lost a bunch of one-score games with Dylan Gabriel coming in there along with Marvin Mims. And look, it is what it is. They were carried by the offense because Lincoln was fucking completely and still pretty much is, allergic to playing defense. Could you imagine if Brent Venables got the same damn Ferrari that Stoops left for Lincoln? Huh? Could you imagine that? Ohio State champs didn't like how Knowles gave a classic deflection instead of denying the rumors like he could have. I'm actually thinking he can leave. He's leaving, bro. So then they turn it around. They go 10-3 last year. Okay. Should they have lost the game to Kansas? Nope. Probably shouldn't have. Should they have lost the game to Oklahoma State? Nope. You going to blame all that one on Coach Venables? If I was going to blame anybody, I'll take callers. I'll tell you what, you come in here saying anything stupid, you'll not only be kicked off the call, you're not going to go in here and go crazy on me. But I bet you won't come in here and say anything that backs up anything you have to say. What, you want to take up for the Sooner Surge because they can sit there and yell and scream all the time? I don't give a shit about these guys. Yeah, you know all that. So why is it that you just continue to blame all this stuff on Brent Venables? Why is it Brent Venables' fault that they had all these injuries this year? Why is that? Poor staff hiring Seth, poor portal evals. Okay, Gary, how do you know that it wasn't? How many times have you heard? And I know you have. We've all been hearing it that he's not even in charge of who gets hired. If this thing happens with Knowles, do you think it's going to be all BV doing it? You guys think I give a shit if you I don't even know who you are, Clark. Why would I give a flying fuck that you unsubscribed? Why would I care? What's up, Jimmy Hankster? Let's see. Let me add something here. Take a call. Let's see. Let me get this. I guess. Have your name in there. Don't get out of hand whenever I send this in here. I don't mind you talking. I'll answer any questions you got. You guys want? You think you want to go toe to toe with me on talking about Oklahoma football? Then have at it. But don't think I didn't. Don't say I didn't warn you. Come on in. This guy a trip, dude. Where you at? Come on in. Yeah. I didn't say that he has no say. I said, how do you know that it's not just look? The one thing I know about Brent Venables is that he actually takes responsibility for everything, unlike a lot of coaches we've seen here. Unlike the last coach that just tore everything up. You what? Wait, what? I thought we were talking about exes. Turns out this show's even better. Well, and here we go. Let somebody come on in. I'm waiting on you guys. You guys got big mouths. I don't see anybody in here yet. Come on in. Really flawed. If you'd like to come in, hit that button. We'll talk to you for a while. Happy to have you. It was fun on your show yesterday, by the way. That was good stuff. Let's see. Really, only one big Auburn YouTuber. This edible's putting in work. Hey man, no worries, no worries, brother. I get it. I get it. Yeah, Chester. Come on, man. Yeah, where you at there? Is Auburn drama not as good? Let's see. Where you at, corrections? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. as normal. Let's see. All right. But, yeah, he was doing a lot of talking. You were talking too. You were talking too. You guys, a lot of you guys came in here running that mouth. Wofford, where are you at? Oh, dude. Okay. You know what? I'll just go ahead and continue on with what I was saying. The bottom line is if you think that it's all on BV, that's fine. Because guess what? He takes all the responsibility for it anyways. He takes all the responsibility for it. So that's one thing I know that, you talk about guys like Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley, especially. A lot of these coaches that it's never their fault when they lose. It's never their fault when something goes bad, ever. Right. But yet, with these guys, with Brent Venables, he's never once blamed Lincoln Riley for the state that he left it in. Never once. How is that possible? Is what I want to know. Because he continues to he takes it on the chin. And you know what? In the end, I don't know that he did want to hire Seth Luttrell. I think he did do it. I know that for whatever reason he isn't firing Joe John Finley. I don't understand why that is. I think that you're listening to Chris Mason and some of the guys that he talks to, he says it's going to happen. If it happens, fine, great. I can't wait. Can't wait to see it. In the end, with Mateer coming in here and Arbuckle, they put up big numbers. And hell, you don't even have to put up huge numbers to win games. You were in every game. You were in every game this year. In every game. Man, we got something going on with this stupid thing. I don't know what's going on with this damn deal. Not sure what just happened there. Did I leave the screen there for a minute? Oh my God, you can't find it. Here it is again. I'll just keep putting it in there. Here it is again. Here it is again. Rest in peace, TikTok. Yeah. It ain't hard to find. When Canada becomes a 51st state, are there any universities in Canada worth having in the Big 12? That's pretty funny. I'll put it in for you. Come on in and talk shit too. You guys come in here and run your mouth from the chat section. I bet you won't come in here and say anything to me from there. Yeah, I'll keep spamming it. Keep on hitting it. You guys are acting whack, man. But it's cool. Let's see how many we got in here. All right. How many likes we got? Not very many likes. We got 70 people in here right now. Boy, got it under everybody's skin because they don't just get to come in here and say dumb shit about it, about what's going on at Oklahoma and not back it up with anything. You know damn good and well you don't want to come in here for a reason, right? We know why you're not coming in. I got big mouths from the chat section, but nobody challenges you over there on the Squirm show. What a shame! What a shame it is. Appreciate it. Hey, Orca. You put it on BV because he made the hires and recruited the kids. So which kids did he recruit that screwed it up for him? Which ones? Because I would just tell you that when it comes to the guys that were in the room, would have been great if they would have played as far as the receivers are concerned. He recruited the offensive lineman. The defense was fine. Come on in. Come on with it. All you got to do is just okay it on your phone. You don't even have to put it in don't put in your camera stuff. Just okay the microphone and you'll be right in. It'll pop you right in here. Bishop Frank did it the other night. Coach did it. Everybody, I've been able to get them on there. Which kids exactly? Which kids are you talking about? Which kids are you talking about? So, because they ended up having to play a lot of freshmen at receiver, they had to play. Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and make excuses about that offense. I can tell you that. That's the worst abomination of an offense I've ever seen. But I can tell you this. I don't know what you expected from them when Jackson Arnold was scared of his own shadow. And then whenever he tried to put in Hawkins, everybody was bitching about that too over one game. Right? It's wild to me. You're not trying to get in via the link. You're just running your mouth, dude. Come on. Come on. He had 3 years to get him. Who? To get who? Who are we talking about? You had your 6 number 1 receiver, your top 6 receivers were not in the game. They didn't play hardly at all. Hell, even Burks that you brought in the portal, he got hurt too. Of course, that's the easiest thing in the world to say, Wofford. That's the easiest thing in the world to say that it all falls on him. And you know what? The good news is that he takes it all on himself, every little bit of it. He does. What is he given the responsibility to somebody else for? He hasn't. Who else is going to bring in the type of guys on defense that they have right now, though? I think that I've been saying this damn shit all the whole year. I said it, that there was no way that they should have ever taken Hawkins out. In fact, I was saying that I felt like you were running the risk of losing him too. I told your asses after the Tennessee game that he was gone. That as far as it went with Jackson Arnold, his ass was out. So you may as well live and die with Michael Hawkins the rest of the way. So what are you getting at then, Orca? What are you getting at then? So because they didn't work out because the offense wasn't, I mean, those guys didn't have it figured out. That all goes on BV. Okay, fine. You know what? He'll take it. He'll take it. What do you think it would have been like if it wasn't for his defense, though? What do you think it would have been like if it wasn't for that defense? It is what it is, man. Yeah, okay. You guys can sit here. You're just so this is what you have for me. It's a team. It's not one side of the ball. So, okay, explain to me how it's his fault that they got injured, that you had your top 6 guys out. Talk to me. You guys don't this is what you got. This is what you have to make these arguments. Look, I can tell you this much. I have given plenty of shit to Brent Venables all year. In fact, last year as well. The times that I felt there's times that I felt like that he's still in the learning curve. There's no two ways around it. He's definitely still learning from it. And it's time for him to step it up. I will tell you this. If they get Knowles, he's not leaving next year unless they were to go 4-8. They're gonna give it 2 years to get everything going, unless they were to go 4-8. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question too, guys. Since we're gonna sit here and talk about all the recruiting and what the money they don't spend, are you guys gonna come in here and tell me how they're not, Broklahoma, the whole Broklahoma thing, they're not getting the right guys? That's what you're trying to tell me there, Orca? So if that's the case and they're not getting the right guys, right? If that's what you're trying to tell me, then what fucking makes you think that they can afford to pay $34 million and it gets better from there? Explain that one, wise guys. Explain that. How the hell does that one work? I gotta know. Doesn't seem like that's gonna work out too good, man. Dude, you act like I hired his ass. I didn't hire him. Legends, see, and Legend's not the only one that's been saying this kind of stuff. I'm not the one making the argument. So make the points then. Make them. I'm gonna tell you this much, man. Brent Venables has not had control of this. They fired Thad Turnipseed the year before that. He didn't want him gone. That was his chief of staff guy that was basically running everything for him. His right hand man, helping him through everything that you're doing as learning to get it going. And what happened? Josie fired him because he didn't like his attitude and shit like that. You're right, Auburn. You're right. Sometimes it's going to take some time. And in the end, I'm just going to tell you, one of the few things I've seen from Sooner Cowboys in the last year that I agree with is that he said it was always going to be 5 years. I think it was always going to be 5 years too, especially when they extended the contract last year. Who's that one on? You guys want to talk shit about BV? Who extended the contract? So who is in charge of this shit? How many wins do I think next year? I think that Oklahoma's going to be fine next year. I'll just be honest with you. I think everything breaks right for them. They could win 9 or 10 games. It just depends on how it goes. I think 8-4 is probably the bottom. I don't think that it would have been 6-7. I don't think it would have been 6-6 this year if they'd just had a competent play caller on the sideline. And I'm not too sure that Seth Luttrell wasn't trying to freaking implode the team from the inside. The stuff that we've heard coming out of the Switzer Center during all that time. And I'll tell you this, he tried to fire Seth Luttrell before the Texas game and after the Texas game, and they didn't let him do it until it got so bad in the South Carolina game that, hell, he almost got fired for it. That wasn't what happened. Bullshit. Nope, nope, nope. He resigned. That's what they said he did. They didn't renew his contract and had no intentions of renewing his contract. You should make sure that you know what you're talking about there. Mhm. Well, who have they added? Yeah, they've added plenty. And what the guys that they didn't bring into the recruiting class is because they knew that they were going to need to go grab guys in the portal. Okay, Orca. So tell me how it is going to work that they're going to. How is it going to work that they're going to fire him when they owed him $44 million this year? How are they going to fire him and make it better if they don't have the money to get the players that you think they ought to be getting? Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going around that it was this close to him being like kicked out the damn door after the South Carolina game. The whole lot of them. They were going to fire everybody. Yep. All of a sudden, he's going to go be a minister. It's been coming for a while, and all we keep hearing is, "Well, that's been expected. That's been expected. That's been expected." Okay, well, why? Why has that been expected? For the non-Sooners, who's the fedora? The athletic director, Joe Castiglione. Okay. Hey, you need to. Okay. So 0-3 in the bowl games. It's only it amazes me that how important you guys make these bowl games. It amazes me. And look, I would tell you whose deal was that? I'll tell you one thing I do think that was his fault over that bowl game though. Because I think that you could have installed the offense. Now, Purple Oracle will tell you that that's crazy talk. You know, you can't install that offense. You guys don't think Ben Arbuckle can put that offense together? Do you realize what a base air raid is like? I mean, hell, my guy Trap House Boomin was saying that night that he was in here that it's about 10 plays with some different checks on it. That's all. Bowl games ain't the problem, but it don't even matter. Yeah, they were. I didn't say he was going to get I said he won't if he no. They were talking about, you know why they didn't fire him is because they couldn't afford to do it. There's no way that you're going to make that decision. And again, guys, let's think about what you're talking about. Think about what happened in this season. Take a freaking breath for a second. You had 9 different starting lineups on your offensive line. 9 of them. You lost 9 guys off of the offense for the season that did none of them played more than like what, 3, I think 3 or 4 games was the max on the guys that they lost for the season. If you can install the offense in 2 weeks, then kids don't need portal till May. What does that even mean? What does that mean? I don't think you know what you're talking about, bro. Mhm. This is what I've been saying a lot there, Kyle. Thank you. It would have been nothing. They could have installed the damn offense. They could have about 5, 6 plays maybe, and they could have went with that because he knew what he had in it. And how many times did you see Arbuckle sitting over there with his head in his hands over what the hell they were calling? Yeah. Oh, looky here. Imagine that. An Auburn fan being the voice of reason in here. Although I'm not even saying that bad on you. You guys are going through the same bullshit and you have the right attitude. And you got a bunch of dumbass Sooner fans in here that don't get it. That don't get it. So what's going to happen next year if they win 9 or 10 games? Are you guys going to shut the hell up? Or are you going to keep the same energy? I bet you won't. You'll act like you never said it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else you could do. I mean, literally, especially when you have a guy like Seth Luttrell that clearly was in over his head. From what we understood, he had been calling plays all these years. Now all of a sudden you hear, nah, not really. Not really. He wasn't actually the play caller for a lot of that time. He'd never been a quarterback coach before. Wild. I think they could have no problem. I would also believe they wanted to keep Arbuckle safe from ridicule before the season even started. Why? What? Like that did any good? Like that did any good? I mean, here's the deal, guys. You can. All I know is this: if I'm advocating for Brent Venables, it's because I'm looking at the guys that they have brought in, and make no mistake, there's talent there. There's talent there all over that defense for damn sure. And then on that offensive line, think about the guys that they've brought in on the offensive line this year. Think about the guys that they brought in the 24K class. Underrated as all hell. A lot of them are underrated. Isaiah Autry, Dent, EPL. Those guys are probably pushing for starting spots this next year. And that's with the 5-star coming in and Ryan Foji plus Darius Afalava. We're talking about dudes that are going to push for those starting spots. Logan Howland, he ain't. I don't see him starting, man. I don't. I think that I think he scripted the first 15 plays or whatever. I think he did. Yep. Offered him a yeah. Listen, patience is a virtue, and it's not a virtue that Oklahoma fans have right at this point. It's been too long since they won a Natty. You know, I'll just ask again, what do you think? Did you really? I want to know if you guys really believed that in year one they were going to do better than what they did with that many guys off there, and then they bounced it, they turned around. And you know what? Even though those losses, first of all, the 2 losses in the regular season, you could blame both of them on Levy. You could also blame both of them on the damn Big 12 and their officiating crews. Tell me I'm wrong there. Now, Levy, I didn't love the play calling in either one of those games, Kansas or Okie Light. Didn't love it. You had Levy. I mean, shit. Because Dylan throws that pick 6 early in the game, he just decides he ain't gonna throw the football no more on a sloppy field. Sure, okay. You could, but at what point are any of these guys? Let me ask you a question, Jack off. At what point is it on the players and on the assistant coaches that the position coaches, the guys that are getting them ready all week? Hmm? Nope. And here goaded, everybody just wants to get on BV. They just want to get on BV. So I don't think that even would have been a problem. That was a trip, dude. See, none of you guys, how many times I put that in there, and none of you guys had the balls to come in here and talk that shit in here. Where you at? Oh, he won't play a freshman. What about Jaden Jackson? What about him? He started every game as a true freshman. He wasn't the 5-star. Every game. Yeah, that's happening in Auburn. I think it's a lock. The stuff that I've been hearing, it's going down. And I mean, listen to what he said today. All he said was, all I'm thinking about is Notre Dame, beating Notre Dame right now. All he had to do was say no. All he had to do was say he wasn't interested in it at all. He hadn't spoken about it. He wasn't in his plans. He was staying at Ohio State. He could have pledged his allegiance to the Ohio State University today. Guess what? He didn't. You guys can do that Sooner Surge shit on Sooner Surge's show. You don't want to come in here and say something to me on the call system, then I'm not listening to this shit from you. Bye. That's 5 minutes for you. Come back in saying something else. See how it goes. Yep. Satterfield gets it. Ethan Downs had a pick late, and Levy ran that stupid 5-yard out to Stoops. Yeah, I know, dude. That almost lost it. Yes, exact same one. Exact same one. Want that some shit? I like Jeff Lebby, man. I think he's a better coach than people gave him credit for. I think he took a lot of arrows for shit that wasn't really his fault. Just not being Lincoln Riley is all it was. And you know, people that know me know exactly what I think when it came to the situation with Bryles being at the game and shit that for the SMU game in year 2. That wasn't no rule. That wasn't the first time he had been at one of the games either. Just so you guys understand that. It wasn't. People in these same people that are in here talking all this dumb shit, probably the same people acting like Oklahoma's been a freaking beacon for women's rights for all these years. Come on, man. Setting the standard, hiring the stuff. Yeah. He is good. Look, here's what I would tell you about. I just told you that there is plenty of things that you can say that Venables hasn't been perfect on. But what you can't do is tell me that they've been bad as far as, well, their defense has completely turned. They're going to be an elite defense. They would have been elite if they just had a serviceable offense this season. He's not an offensive coach. It's enough for him to become a head coach right now before you start expecting him to start making decisions about the offense. Okay. Now, again, he took control of it. He took all the blame for all this stuff, every bit of it. Yeah. I'm sure he will. Oh yeah, dude. He's coming. That's on. Where were they? As far as the unprepared on the offensive side, they lost control of that thing so early that it ain't even funny. Do you know? Have you heard any of all you guys that have all these answers and you don't even know what the damn questions were? Do you realize that before the Tennessee game, we're talking before the very first SEC game, that DeMarco and Big Bill were out in the hallway outside of one of those meeting rooms yelling at each other about what the blocking scheme was supposed to be for the game on Friday night before the Tennessee game on Saturday. They didn't know what the fucking blocking scheme was because Seth Littrell was so bad at communicating what was going on. Now, you can say whatever. Now, listen, for whatever reason, Seth got that job. He's a former Sooner. His dad won a national championship. He won a national championship. There's lots of reasons why you could say that Seth Littrell got hired. And it may not have just been on Brent Venables. But no matter how he got there, What do you do about that? Well, what are you supposed to do with that? Jump in the way, try to fire him. Well, guess what? They wouldn't let him fire him. He was trying to fire him before the damn season started. He was trying to fire him. I know. Heard yelling what night? Which one are you talking about? Who is responsible for that? The offensive coordinator should have made. It sounds to me like they weren't communicating with these guys at all. And we're talking week 4. Week 4. And the communication had gone out the fucking door. Out the door. That's how bad it was that on Friday before the game, they didn't know if they were running a gap scheme or zone for the blocking schemes for these. And not only that, they didn't know that, and they were starting their 4th separate offensive line on the season in 4 games. It was an elite. Yeah, it was the most. I'll tell you what, they were in the top 20 in pretty much every category. And in, what is it, the defensive efficiency, number 1 in the country. Why was he overbearing on the bro? You've got to stop, dude. Now you're telling me how little you know. Come on, bro. Come on, man. He wasn't overbearing on shit. He made you realize that Seth Luttrell in the South Carolina game. We're talking these mini games after that shit was already. He was trying to fire this guy for a while. Whatever reason, they didn't let him do it. They didn't let him do it before the season when he wanted to. They didn't let him do it after the Tennessee game, definitely after that Auburn game, because Seth basically turned off the offense after Hawkins scored on that 60-something yard run. He just decided they weren't going to do anything else. You know, Gary, tell me all that you know about defense then. Since the front 7 was elite. Okay. What does it take for a secondary to be big time? Because you're saying they're sus. How many touchdowns did they give up on the back end? And to who? Who was gashing them with the deep ball? You hit the one against Tennessee. You know why? Because they were on the damn field over and over and over. They had so many possessions in that first half because Jackson Arnold was pissing down his leg. You know why that was going on? Part of it is I don't think that he is the guy. I just don't think he's the guy. I think it's clear. The other part is they didn't even have a quarterback coach. If he was so overbearing, why is it that Seth Luttrell was telling every offensive coach who they were going to start? Yep. Please preach it. That's right. Missing their best cornerback. Yes. And on top of that, look, that's when they would get hit with one because they'd be late in the second quarter, early in the third, and they can't even move the damn football. You realize against Texas, they had, what was it, 9 straight 3-and-outs? 9 straight. It's unbelievable to me. You guys, you're just telling me how little you know. You belong on that other show, buddy. And I mean, you could be coming in here and you don't want to have this argument with me on the phone. You know you don't. You're not going to come in here and embarrass yourself. Let me just add that one more time. Prove me wrong, big boy. He will. Come on, jump in. There's the link. Oh, man. Well, their first quarter offenses, they had 16 yards in the first half. Mm-hmm. What's up there, Kim? Seth was supposed to be the QB coach as well. He was. He'd never been one before. And here they've got Kevin Johns, who was an offensive coordinator. He'd been up for the Broyles Award, and he almost got the Duke job. This is why he didn't end up going with what's his name at A&M. That's why he didn't go. And then he ends up becoming an analyst. This is how this guy repaid him for the time that he worked with him by hiring him as an analyst and then telling, from what I understand, the players were saying Seth didn't even want Casey to talk to the quarterbacks, and he didn't want Kevin Johns to do it either. None of this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, because but it is trying. But here's the deal. I don't give a fuck about some of these clowns that come in here. If you are if you are one of those people that thinks you could just do this, you can come into this show and act like you act on Sooner Surge, and I'm not going to kill you for it. And I know this is not you, James. But these other guys, I don't play around with these dudes. You're not smart enough about football to be here, fellas. I just got to tell you. We talk about real stuff in here. Smart comments like what James just said. Talking about the secondary. Why do you think that those things, when they did give up a big play, it was because they were trying to pick it off and go to the house. They were taking risks because the offense couldn't do their side of it. J-Dog Sooner fan. I'm not. Peace out. Y'all go right ahead. I'm not even bashing those guys. I'm saying you go in there and you act like you just spew all this negativity, and that's all you guys got. You're not answering any of these questions that I'm throwing out there. Team passing deficiency for OU doesn't rank in the top 50. Okay. Why do you think that is? If it was elite in the front seven, why do you think that is? Because they had too many chances. They had way too many. Sometimes you didn't even win. Sometimes they didn't even lose the freaking time of possession battle. Like, for instance, Texas. Texas had a lot more opportunities with the ball. Too many possessions, man. Sooner or later, they're going to wear out even on the back end, and they start taking chances that they wouldn't normally take. It is what it is. You guys got to be better than that, man. You just got to be better than that. I understand. I don't like losing. I hate watching them lose. Can't stand it. But I can sit here and look at what has gone on in the last couple of years and kind of understand it. They're in a new conference. They've got the toughest schedule out of everybody. Dude, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not even bashing the other show. I'm bashing the guys that they allow in there. Just so you guys understand, I don't really have anything against the Twins. I don't. I think that they let you guys get away with too much shit in there. What's up there, Standard? Good to see you, man. Thank you. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, man. Guys, in the end, let me just go ahead and repeat that for you. I'm not bashing the Surge for being what they are. I think it's funny watching them yell and crap at each other and just yell out stuff. But the thing is that when you ever get any kind of analysis, I get people to come in here and like tell you stuff that should be helpful for you understanding the game. And we're getting bashed for it here. I don't care if you disagree. I'm fine. Listen, there's every reason to be upset with this team not performing. Every reason. Every reason in the world. But here's the thing. If you don't realize really what's happening, there's more to it. I'm preaching the way I feel. They watch the car. Dude. Oh, man. That one's good. That one's good. It's just in from our studios in New York. Sooner fans don't always have it all together. Back to you, Jim. Out of damn control. You got to realize that there's some of this stuff is just what it is. Look, in the end, if you don't look at this as this is a process all the way. Now you can be, I understand that some people are going to completely sit there and expect it too much. They have no patience. I understand that part. In fact, my patience is pretty thin too. And I've even said at times that I'm not positive that Brent is gonna make it as a head coach. I don't know that he is. I think he's one of the best recruiters I've ever seen. I think that defense will be if Jim Knowles doesn't come to Oklahoma, I don't give a damn. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine on that side of the football. He's that good. And they're recruiting guys on that side of the football that we haven't seen here since the glory days of Stoops and Venables. Probably since Gerald and them left. And it may not have been that good with them. It may not have been that good with them. I heard about that. I just heard about that the other day. 600 fucking pounds? It's insanity, dude. Oh, man. Where is Roy? Oh, shit, he's probably sleeping, man. I'm the only one that stays up like a vampire with all you guys. He did the other night, though. Dude, from what I understand, he's just a straight and you know what? It makes sense. Everybody keeps on talking about him as Baker Mayfield. Now, granted, you're not hearing that from me. Baker's he's one of one. But I'll say this. If there is similarities, guess why that is? Because he was overlooked out of high school. He's a 3-star guy that knew he had more talent than that. He knew he did. Now, I'm still going to tell you that I think Michael Hawkins could be the starter right now. But the fact that you do have a guy, and listen, I don't have a problem with the way they're headed on this. In fact, I even like the guy that they brought in from Western Carolina. That guy's had a hell of a career. Small school, but he's played a lot of football. Good for a backup. If you don't have to use Hawkins past those 4 games and he gets his red shirt back, that's a good situation to be in for the future. Material's probably he could leave after this year. Chances are he may not, though. And the guy can flat out play. I mean, I've now watched the last 2 years of football, and I liked Cam a lot whenever he was there. I think that the second half of last year didn't look real good, and I don't think it had a lot to do with the offense. I think their defense was putrid and their line got bad. Hawkins was the best player on the team, no doubt about it. He was let down once again by play calling and the game plan. Source note, Mateer squatted 400 in high school. College structure and hard work. He killed it. 600 plus at Wazoo after only a year and a half. Yeah. I mean, and he sat behind. Look, the people that don't realize how good Cam Ward really was. I mean, dude, we've been watching Mario Cristobal fuck things up for a while now. For a while now. I mean, over and over. They would have lost probably 5 games if it hadn't been for Cam, because they tried to lose the damn multiple times. They tried to lose to Virginia Tech and Cal earlier in the year. You knew that was coming. Oh, we talking softball now, Big Lubbock. Texas softball power now. I know Kennedy's very good, but I got to tell you, bro, it's going to be tough. Even with her, she couldn't carry Stanford alone. And they have a better program, or they did have a better program. He is an alpha dog. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And that's what I'm saying. When people start talking about Baker Mayfield, why are they doing that? Because it's the same things that, he takes that, gets a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get highly recruited. Wasn't Wazoo his only Division I scholarship offer? Wasn't that it? That's like the Brian Urlacher story. He lived 100 miles from you guys over in Lubbock there, Big Lubbock. 100 miles. They didn't even call him. Yeah. We'll see. Hey, listen, man, we're going to have to see that from you. Who else y'all got, though? Who else do they have in that pitching staff? Where's Steve B? Has he been in here? He'd be able to tell you all about it. Yeah, but they ended up looking good, though. Uh-huh. JJF was scared to throw that. You guys you remember the Missouri game? That's the game that pisses me off the most. And not for nothing, all you had to do was sit on the ball. All you had to do was not kick it off your fucking leg. We go to overtime, you got a shot. Jackson Arnold was putrid, man. He was just bad. Bad. Oh, he's looking at a wide receiver. Who is he? What's his name again? Right. Well, again, I'm just gonna keep saying, guys, you got to realize that these dudes are. It's a different time now. Okay. Shit. We got something going on in here. I need to kick off some of this other crap, I think. All right. But here's what I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off of what we were saying about BV, and I'm about sick of it. This conversation, because look, we all know that he has work to do. He has to get it done. It's time for you to start winning games. You're starting to run out of excuses. And look, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I'm just telling you, a lot of these things that stack up, how can you get this many things all in a row stack up and nobody wants to hear it? I mean, literally, yeah, year 3, okay, they had enough of a roster before the season started, of course, to find out, okay, what should we be? When you have that many injuries, though, I mean, literally, you didn't have a receiver that had any experience whatsoever at college football, period, much less the SEC. First year in that. And you got the toughest schedule in the SEC aside from Florida's. maybe Georgia, I guess. And it doesn't get easier next year. In fact, it's the toughest schedule in the country, according to everybody. Now, I can look at the schedule and tell you, well, it kind of depends. I don't believe in Missouri. I think Texas is still going to be talented, but I think they're gettable. Arch Manning, is he going to be that guy right away? I don't know. I don't think it takes that much to be better than Quinn at this point. But I think that they're beatable. And it's fucking Texas. We always beat them. Now, the thing is that game after game after game, you've got all these guys. Ole Miss is down. They're not spending the money there yet. I'll tell you one thing. The fact that the legislature, the governor signed that executive order to allow them to run the NIL stuff through the schools is huge for the state. It's huge for Okie Light. It's huge for anybody that has any kind of NIL stuff. You know why? Because donors can now run it through their foundations and all that other stuff and get tax write-offs for it and get a return on that investment. Aside from just winning football games. And I know everybody thinks that should be enough. That is not enough for these rich folks. It's not. It won't be. Already? Man, what the hell happened with that kid? Holy shit. Look, there's going to be some precautionary tales, fellas. There really is. There's going to be some precautionary tales when it comes to NIL stuff. There just is. Overall, I'm for the players getting paid. I think they should have been getting paid a long ass time ago. But there's going to have to be some things that are going to have to happen in order for this to kind of work out the way that it's supposed to. All right, guys, we've had over 450 people in the stream already in this first, little over an hour and 10 minutes. If you haven't hit that like button, go and hit it, man. We've got 29 likes so far out of 450 people that have been in here. Now, I know a lot of you people are in here pissy at me. At least hit the dislike button. Shit. Golly. I don't know, man. Do you think that's the case there, Orca? No. That ain't it. Are you asking if I would get rid of him if Mitchell wanted to leave because he stayed? Hell yeah, they should get rid of him anyway. Again, this is another Sooner, another alumni that we all loved him as a player, but no, he ain't it. What's up, Dwight? I've just now got on here, man. I've only been on for an hour. What are you up to, bro? Good to see you, man. You want to call in? Hit me up. I'm in here taking bullets right now. What you up to? Coach. Here's the other reason. You guys were asking about that with if we really think it's happening with Knowles. What did we say the other night? It's like having all 5 infinity stones when you got the woman. Booty is undefeated. I don't know if Really Flawed is still in here. You know how Really Flawed, I had to take my hat off to you yesterday. That was smart. Every super chat she got, she was running the little short video of her. Never mind. It was good stuff. Smart of her. She got paid yesterday. Where is that? Let me see. Oops. Find that real quick. There's why Knowles is coming. Because she ain't moving to Ohio, boys and girls. It's like having all 5 Infinity Stones. What's up, Kim? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, here's what I like. Listen, I'll say, dude, I'll tell you guys, Arbuckle wasn't necessarily my number one guy. He wasn't. And I was late to the party a little bit on Mateer also. The guy's the real deal. The guy's the real deal. And because I've watched 2 seasons of his play calling. That dude, he'll run whatever the hell he thinks is gonna work. It's not just gonna be air raid. It's not. It's nice headlights. It does, yeah. Ohio's a tough place. It'd be a tough place to live, man. Be a tough place to live. And her son is I think he's gonna be going to SWASU playing basketball, from what I understand. She ain't going nowhere. He bought her a house in Oklahoma. There's another one. And him and Larry Johnson hate each other. But all of that doesn't mean as much. As the little lady there. Just need them by 1 point at the end of the game, right? Take it how you can get it in the Natty, man. Give a shit what it looks like. Don't give a shit what it looks like. Hey, man, I'm just going to put it to you this way. When it comes to Oklahoma, I'll just say this. How do I feel about that? We were just talking about his ass. That dude was pissing down both legs there, bro. He want the guy. He want the guy. I was saying he shouldn't have been in after the Tennessee game, and they brought him back late in the year, and he wasn't any better. It wasn't because of him that they beat Alabama. Hawkins should have stayed in. Hawkins should have stayed in. And this Mateer dude, way better. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm with you there. For people think he doesn't know what will work or fools. Look, he hasn't put it all together as far as the coaching goes. And coach, I wish you would come in for a second. Just because of the fact that we do know, I mean, just to talk a little bit about what it takes to become a head coach, a real head coach, and how long it takes for you to kind of figure it out and feel it out. It takes time. And there's been some things that I think he's been behind on, man. We've said it. I talked to Coach about it. We talked about it on this show. I'm not just sitting here sunshine pumping for the dude, man. I'm telling you that if you fire him now, if you'd have fired him at the end of this year, then you just reset the clock for another 3 years, because how many of those guys you think were going to stay? I can tell you, not many. Not many. The defense for damn sure. Who the hell's going to stay off of the defense? They all came for him and his staff. Who was going to stay? You guys all heard. I wonder, it's funny to me that you guys, the guys that were in here earlier talking all that bullshit. All that bullshit. What happened to you guys? Weren't listening, I guess, to Steve Stutzman last night when he was the other stuff that he said, that BV is the guy. To give it time, I sent it to it. I just sent it. He said it. Weatherford, Oklahoma. He's got an offer to stay there and play at Weatherford in college. That's SWASU, right? Am I right there? It feels like that's right. Weatherford, Oklahoma. Well, anyway, look, it takes some time though, and that's the one thing I'll say. But again, I think that they could be a hell of a lot better than we even assume they will be. And if Mateer is close to what we think he is, right? With this offensive coordinator that knows what he's doing, you've got the people that, Chester. Yeah, I listened to Chester. Let me tell you, he's in there screaming about firing Bill Bedenbaugh a couple of weeks ago when I was in there listening. Fire Bill Bedenbaugh. He was firing everybody on that staff. Who the hell? It didn't say why. Swasu Ryan went there. You know where else he went? Was he used to coach at Western, or no, was it? Yeah, New Mexico. Was it Western New Mexico? It was shit. Forget which one it was now. Yeah. Sooner Cowboys, he gone. I booted his ass. I'm done with him. It's one of the few guys that I actually kicked. I don't usually kick people out. I'll put people in timeout just because it amuses me. But I generally don't ban until you've gone over a line. And he pole vaulted that motherfucker for 6 months. I saw that, yeah. I saw that. Joining Lincoln staff. It wasn't Rex, it was the other one, Rob. He's the linebacker coach, I think, at SC. USCJ had a show on earlier talking about it. They've got, hey, look, I will say this. Jen Cohen knows what she's doing when it comes to hiring a staff. New Mexico Highlands is where he was at. That's right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Israel. Yeah. Well, but they're going to get Jim Knowles at Oklahoma. Then what? What did he do? He kept talking about that dumb shit, bringing up Kel Gundy. I told him not to do it no more, and he kept on doing it. I don't want to hear that Kel Gundy. He was so fucking good that Bob Stoops never made him his offensive coordinator. He was coaching there the entire time that Stoops was coaching there. He never even thought about making him the offensive coordinator. That's how good he was. And everybody's so, oh my God, we can't live without Kel. Fuck out of here. What are we talking about? Yeah. He pissed me off with that one that night. I've had enough of that conversation. I don't care for it. How could he be any different than his brother? And we all know what his brother is. It ain't good. It ain't good. Defenses take time to build. We've seen offenses be completely turned around in an offseason. Yeah. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, so you hadn't heard the stuff that I've been hearing. Then I guess I can't believe that. By the way, he's coming, bro. Did you I know you're listening, so you may not have seen this. You need to look at the computer for a second. Let me show you something. This is why she's not going anywhere. Champion standard. She ain't going nowhere, bruh. And Booty is still undefeated. Undefeated. It's like I've been saying it. Somebody finish this sentence for me. Coach would do it if he was in here. It's like having all 5 infinity stones when you got booty like that. Remember Vera from Harlem Nights? I have got a girl whose is so good, if you threw it up into the air, it would turn into sunshine. I can't help myself. I like that one. Mike, you out of here? Sorry. See you, man. Have a good one, bro. Ken Sterling. I knew that pick was coming. Yeah, it has to come. Hey, listen. We should be everybody. We got to find out where she lives and shit like that. Where's the house that he bought her? Because we owe her flowers and all kinds of shit. Dolly Parton, huh? I'll take it. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much. Coach, I sent that to you. Oh, yeah, he's seen it. He'll be here in a minute. Sure. Great movie, right? Oh man, I meant to go and get that clip so I could put it on the sound thing.
I found that offensive, sir.
Yeah, I've been offending people lately. It is what it is.
I found that offensive, sir.
Yeah, that was on her Facebook. That's the only one that's the only social media she has that isn't completely private. I didn't find all this stuff. I got a guy that was looking up all that stuff for me. He is the man. I'd tell you his name, but then I'd have to kill you. It's all secretive and shit. There he is. My guy. What's up there, coach? Hold on one second. Let me pull this in there. Fix this up right. Damn, I should have had that ready. There he is. My guy. What's up there, coach? Ooh, we're getting hold on one second. Let me pull this in there. Fix this up right. Coach, we're having some ready. We're getting some echo from you, coach.
I turned it off.
Okay. All right. Welcome into the show, the coach, Philip Roybal. What's up, my guy? Welcome in, man. He's working it. Hey, man, it's midnight here, and coach is still rolling. You know his team must be playing for a natty coming up because he just acted like a damn kid.
Just getting started, baby. Just getting started.
Like a fucking kid. I fucking love it.
Gotta love life, man.
Hey,
I'm still getting kickback.
I'm not hearing it now. Are you guys hearing it?
Y'all don't hear it?
Yeah, they heard it a second ago. They said it's better now.
Okay. I'm getting it, but I don't know what the hell's causing that.
Hold on a minute. Do you have were you still watching it on another screen? Maybe. That's probably what it is.
Let me check my phone. See if that helped. There we go.
You getting it now, guys? Give us a 1 if it's better. Got to talk, Coach.
Guys, I heard I was Ohio State's #1.
Hold on, man. I don't know what we got.
Hey, I found that song, dude.
Did you? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
We got something going here because something ain't. We're still getting it, Coach.
You still getting that kickback?
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me fix it. I'll make some changes here. Two for echo, still echoing.
Two.
Yeah, we're getting a bunch of them. I just turned off the echo on this end, so it shouldn't. It's got to be something on your end. If it is, I don't know, but
I wonder if there's something I need to do. I'm not getting it now.
Yeah, my mom even said still a big echo.
Still?
Yeah. Oh, that may have helped it. What was that?
Is that any better? Can you hear me now?
It's better, I believe. Seems like it's better.
Gee.
Better. Yeah,
Better.
You have another window open? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I'm shutting everything down.
I heard it click. Okay, much better.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, everybody's saying much better.
Rock and roll.
Yes, sir. All right. Man, were you in here earlier? I was getting killed.
No, I wasn't in here. As a matter of fact, I was finishing up watching.
Sent their boys over to get all butthurt at me because
Who did?
those clowns at the Surge. It's not really the clowns that run the Surge. It's the guys that are idiots in their damn comment section that think they know everything about football and don't know
And
shit.
what was it about?
That because I made that video earlier talking about because they still have been bitching about what Coop said, and I've been taking all the heat for it. And I was actually just in their show yesterday, participating in the show, and they all threw a fit about it. And so I made the video, finally responded, and then they got all bitchy about it. It was silly shit.
Well, you know what my thoughts are on that kind of stuff.
I've been saying it, but go ahead, please do. What's up, my brothers and sisters of the college football world? Neilio says with a $20 super chat. My guy. Neilio's our guy. What's up, man? Yeah, had a couple of them came in here. They're like, I unsubbed and blah blah blah. I was like, I don't even know who the fuck you are. Good. I don't remember you. What are we talking about? Speaking of Neilio, though, let me see. Did I get something from you, Neilio?
Don't let the door hit you in the ass, boys.
Yep. Don't let the door hit you with the good Lord.
Exactly. Act like a hemorrhoid and tear ass.
That's right. Neilio, I just saw your email. I'm gonna send you a link here in a little bit. If you've been on the hofmedia.us/pod-merch, which you guys should all go check that out, by the way. Get over there and check that out. Tell me what hat you like, shirt you like, whatever, and I'll send it your way. I'll send the link for that. We got some new hats in there. We've got some camo hats, as a matter of fact.
I wore mine today.
Got the new camo one as well. The Hall of Fame. It's in 3 different camos. The black, this is the olive one, and then they've got a more desert brown camo as well. Of course, we got the one like's on my head. We've got this shirt, always meant more at Oklahoma. The Alabama State Champs shirts is also in there. Good stuff. Ass, gas, or grass, nobody rides for free, baby. I like that one. My guy.
So, Jason, I know one of the things that you were talking about earlier
Yes,
when
and
I
that's
first
what
came on.
they're trying to blame the entirety of. Look, I'm not saying that you don't get responsibility as a head coach, and we all know that. But nuance and context has to matter, does it not, Coach?
Absolutely, it's got to matter. First of all, for you goofy some bitches that haven't ever walked in the shoes of a coach, you're not going to have a damn clue. And I'm not trying to, there's a lot of good people on here. So I'm not trying to shoot bullets at our good people.
Not all of them are on the show over there, is what I was getting at.
Right. Well, I'm shooting bullets at those dumbasses that, always have all these thoughts and ideas and they've never walked in those shoes, And so when you take over a program, let's start right there. And you take over a blue blood program like BV did, and you take over a program that got gutted by the last asshole that left. There is a lot that needs to be fixed, from your coaches, which we've obviously seen that, to players, we've obviously seen that, to a defense that was horrific, that needed to be fixed, which we've seen fixed. Obviously, the offense slipped. But, if you've never been a head coach before, it takes some time, especially at the Division I level. And at any level, but especially at the D1 level. Guys, it takes some time to get where you need to get. And Jason, you and I have talked about a lot of comparisons in Marcus Freeman and BV. And I think I still think there's some very, some strong similarities in those two. Obviously, right now, Marcus Freeman's looking like he's come a long ways, baby. The old saying. But that's not to say BV's not going to get there. I mean, and guys, a program, I honestly believe this. You always hear people say, well, after year 3, it's your program. Well, yeah, kind of. And the landscape has changed in college football, where 3 years probably isn't your team because of all the movement in the transfer portal. So it's going to take a little bit longer, but I've always said it takes 5 to 7 years to turn a program to where it needs to be. A lot of you obviously won't agree with me on that. And if you don't, I don't give a shit. Because I've walked in those shoes and I know how long it takes to turn a program around. And when you're talking about turning around culture, you're talking about turnover in coaches, getting the right coaches, the right fit, getting BV's done a great job recruiting. So, it's not time to blame him for all this. And again, at the end of the day, y'all will always hear me say the head coach is the one that's accountable for everything. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. He is the person accountable. And I will not back up from that statement. But at the end of the day, you've got to make sure, and administratively, that OU administration has got to make sure that they're giving him every bit of backing in doing what he's doing. And again, allow him to be making the decisions. Now, at the end of the day, if he's making all the decisions and things don't pan out in the next year or two, then hey, then fire his ass. But at this point, he needs to be allowed to continue the progress as a head coach to see if he can get that thing turned the way it needs to be turned. Back to OU football that we know. But that's my little hoorah.
Sorry, I was muted. I wasn't really enjoying what Orca had to say a whole lot earlier, but he ain't wrong about this one. A good quarterback, having a good offensive coordinator, which we know Arbuckle has been one of the better ones in the country the last few years. All you got to do is watch him. He's been successful everywhere. All these kids are already raving over him on that offense already.
Yep. Hey, go back up there to Wazoo. He asked a good question about coach's wife. Uh,
Yeah.
Again, guys, any of us, if you're married and you have, your wife or your husband has cancer, I don't care what job you have. You know what? It affects your job. It affects your family, and that's very difficult to do. And have you ever heard BV complain about any of it?
He doesn't talk
No,
about it. He
no,
doesn't
doesn't
talk
even
about
talk.
it.
He doesn't
And
talk about it because he doesn't want to use it as an excuse.
That's right. And one of the things that pissed me off about people is that you've heard of people bringing that shit up about, do you think maybe his mind's not on coaching? Should it be? Should it be? Number one, I would tell you it's probably the opposite of that football is probably his escape from that, because make no mistake, that woman is the backbone of that home. Just like every coach's wife, man. Julie runs that house.
Yeah, I agree. Purple Orca, I don't know what you do for a living, but this is an asinine statement saying Marcus Freeman less experienced and younger, but we have to wait by two for him to catch up. You know what, guys? It's not the same program. It's a different program, man. And different programs are structured differently. Number one, is there anything that's the same about OU and Notre Dame? Administration is different. Coaches are different. Guys, there's a lot of things that are not the same. And you know what? One coach he may become a better head coach in a shorter amount of time, but there's lots of variables that are involved in a coach becoming a good head coach. And you know what, guys? There's not a book that's written about becoming a great college coach. And
Coach, this is what I was saying. Nobody even answered this question. I brought it up, and I threw the damn thing in there for anybody to come in. All these people they came in talking shit, lots of shit, but none of them took me up on coming in and debating with me about it on the damn show. They can sit in the cheap seats and run their little fucking mouths from the comment section, but they won't do it in here. They've had the damn link to come in here and talk as long as they wanted to. No video, none of that. They won't do it. I'm going to tell you this. Orca, you need to pay attention to I don't know how you don't pay attention to the fact that what if, when I would get on your side with this would have been if he'd taken over what Stoops left Lincoln. Baker
different
Mayfield
scenario.
and Mixon and all those guys. Samaje Perine.
Look what Lincoln has
Could you
done.
imagine if he shows up, if he had that when he got here, not the rundown version that Lincoln left after 5 years of being here, then yeah, I'd be all with you. And you know that
And
I've
look
had
what Lincoln's
questions
done
about
where he's
Coach
at.
Absolutely. Look, think about that. He had a completely turnkey operation. He didn't have to build a staff. The staff stayed there. He ended up firing people off of the staff. He didn't have to change anything, though. Think about that for a second. You're just giving a counter argument. Listen to the counter argument, then listen to the counter argument we're giving you. What would have happened? What would have happened if BV came in with Caleb Williams, or let's say he comes in with Baker Mayfield? The same type of actual program. Smitty instead of the yoga instructor, the remnants of the yoga instructor. You guys aren't, I mean, look, I would remind, you know what? I'm going to go and drop that link in. I'm going to drop that link here later on. Yeah, Jim's coming. He's coming. What about Brian Kelly? He came in after. Dude, it's not the same thing. First off, okay, number one, you want to talk about, you don't jump off of Freeman just yet, because Freeman came and he got to. Nobody hardly went with Brian Kelly to LSU. Nobody went with him. They were all happy that Freeman got the job and they stayed. On top of that, he's out recruited it, but they absolutely were able to. Yeah, but Caleb Williams, he got into some bad habits. Is what happened with Caleb.
Purple Orca. Let me ask you this, and let's look. If you want to look at both programs, let's look at both programs. Lincoln Riley.
There was a big difference.
Okay. But Lincoln Riley leaves to USC because he sees greener pastures. What has he done there? Okay. Now let's go to Notre Dame. Kelly leaves for LSU for greener pastures. What has he done there? Neither one of those guys created a culture now of winning, but let me back up with an asterisk on that. Kelly did at least bring us out of the doldrums.
Kill this guy right here. It's same as when BV came to Oklahoma
and helped us improve. But at this point, Marcus has taken that to another level, as we well know. If you don't know, then you're not watching college football. But anyway.
I got to tell you, I don't understand how you could look at this roster that he inherited and think it's remotely the same. It's not remotely the same.
And Purple Orca, you said if they have Caleb Williams, BV has 10 win seasons. First of all, there's nothing guaranteed in that. It's all speculation. You probably lean to the positive side of that speculation. But again, he doesn't have Caleb Williams. And I'm going to tell you what.
Got into some bad habits.
And I'm going to tell you this too, guys. And y'all know that and Jason knows I always call y'all out on this as far as fans. You guys that are fans have bitched about every quarterback you have. I don't, since coming on this show with Jason, this podcast, I don't remember y'all not bitching about your quarterback. Y'all had good ones, but the next one was better, and the next one was better, and the backup was better, and the backup was better. Caleb Williams is not here. So let's just move on to the people that you do have. And you know what? Maybe be happy with the guys that you do have. Hell, one went to Oregon. He did pretty good there. And you know what? Arnold's probably going to go someplace else and do well. Uh, and again, we bitch about things and we talk out of both sides of our mouth. And you know, I don't know. It just wears my ass out.
Keep going. I'm changing to my. I'm putting my sweater on.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine. Reading some of the Brian Kelly has 2 10-win seasons in SEC and even reached 8 this year. And I'm saying BV didn't bring no one because of loyalty to Dabo. Well, you know what? That's part of. You know what? I might have done the same thing because when you
First time
work
head
for
coach, you might have.
somebody, when you work for somebody, and maybe Dabo helped him along the way to get back to OU. And you have a gentleman's agreement that we're not going to tell all the dumb son of a bitches in the whole world about. That's done behind closed doors with a handshake and a gentleman's agreement. Coach, thank you for helping me. I won't take any players for X number of time. That's the way it is. Again, things that happen in the coaching realm that sounds like you don't understand.
Yeah, and this isn't necessarily wrong, but he was a freshman. He came in and led the largest comeback in Red River shootout history over Texas as a freshman, a true freshman, coming in when they were down 28-7. And he came back and won it. His first play from scrimmage was a touchdown, like 60 yards. Caleb Williams was the real deal. What happened with him, though, after that first year at USC, he got into bad habits, playing too much hero ball. They had Marshawn Lattimore, and they didn't use his ass. The dude averaged 8 yards a carry, and he got 10
Exactly.
carries a game.
Exactly.
10
But
carries a game.
but Jason, my big thing is quit beating on the damn coach. Give him a damn chance and let him get his people in there, let him get his players in there. And then after that, if he don't get it done, fire his ass and y'all talk more shit about him and he can move on. But
The thing
at
is,
this point,
come on, man.
BB's a good person. He's
He's a great
obviously got a lot going on in his life. But at the end of the day, he's a good person. I think he'll get the job done. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. And you move on. You find another guy.
And they will find another guy. And that's the whole thing about
Purple Orca, they didn't want to go with either one of them. Coaches didn't want to go. I tell you what, guys, I'll go all the way back to Nick Saban. When he departed for Alabama, he told his coaches on his staff, meet me at the jet tomorrow at 8 in the morning, and we're flying to Alabama. Those of you that want to go. You know how many people went with Nick Saban to Alabama? Zero. And again, just who cares if they didn't take anybody with them or not? They didn't want to go with them.
And he did take the whole damn staff. All that defensive staff came with him, which I think everybody realizes or should realize that was important. You know what I mean? It was a big deal, folks. It really was. But again, look, we can sit here and do this all damn day. The bottom line is you're talking about all these kind of things, right? Orca, you've had 15 different things that you've brought up that you don't think that he's done right. Okay, fine. Tell me when's the last time you had a defense that looked like this at Oklahoma? That looked like that it could carry you to a win over an Alabama team that, listen, the talent is still there.
We don't want to talk about the good things, Jason.
Oh no.
We don't want to talk about the good things. We always just want to pick at the things that aren't working and blast their ass. We don't want to say anything positive. It's always let's blow them up. Trust me, I've lived that. I lived that for 35 years.
Look, and I get it. I mean, shit, I'm just as hey guys, believe me, you remember last year whenever Notre Dame lost to Ohio State in that game and it knocked him out of playoff contention, he was mad as fuck for 3 weeks. We're in here having arguments on the show because he was in a pissy ass mood. And we all are, and we're all in a pissy mood. It's been too damn long since OU's done something, and getting to the playoff didn't do anything but make you hungrier and see that you really weren't that close. But those are the things that, to me, I don't understand why it is that people don't take a look at that and be like, well, to be honest with you, we weren't in better shape. Because I've said this a bunch of times, and it had to break. It had to break completely. And you know what? I don't think we've been completely done being broken yet. You got a bunch of spoiled ass fans that expect a bunch of shit that they shouldn't be expecting because you know what? Stoops isn't here anymore. That machine had to be rebuilt because guess what? Lincoln Riley destroyed it. It took him 5 years to do it, but he did it. Just like it didn't take him very long to fuck it up at USC either. He won 11 games in his first year because he had the Heisman Trophy winner and they didn't know anything about who he was out there. And they didn't have to play Washington or Oregon that first year. Nobody remembers that one either. He goes 7-5 the next year and 6-6 this year.
Yep. Hey, Wazoo, you talk about, I just hate how you could never counter the halftime adjustments until the fourth quarter. Again, number one, my first question to you is, Wazoo, were you in the fucking dressing room? Did you hear what the adjustments were?
Which ones?
You know, he's just talking about he couldn't do a good job of halftime adjustments.
Oh, but he's
it's Wazoo.
I think he's talking about. Oh, are you talking about Arbuckle? No, that's not what he's saying. I think he was talking about Lincoln.
Oh, okay. My apologies then. But anyway, here's the thing. It's still hard to make that damn statement when you're not there. I mean, you can sit over here and say, well, I don't think he made very good adjustments. Well, you know what? He might have made adjustments, and those didn't work either.
Well, and like the thoughts that, yet earlier today, everybody's in here telling me how everything that happened this year was on Brent Venables. The losses last year that they had against Oklahoma State and Kansas was on Brent Venables. It wasn't. Those were offensive miscues in both of those games. Terrible situational play calling, which we know was the biggest problem for that entire time that we had Jeff Lebby. That's just the way it was. That's just the way it was with Jeff. And I love Jeff to death, man. He's again another one of these alumni. But nobody wants to believe that Brent was trying to fire Seth Littrell before the season ever started. Brent was trying to fire him after the damn Tennessee debacle on Friday that they didn't even know what the blocking schemes were because he wasn't communicating with his offensive staff. DeMarco and Bedenbaugh were screaming at each other in the hallway about what the blocking schemes were going to be on Friday, the day before the Tennessee game.
Now, see, and that's one of the areas, and I don't say much about this, but you know what? That's BB's damn job to step in there and say, this bullshit stops now. We need to get on the same damn page. And he needed to be in those offensive meetings. Again, I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm saying he should have been if he wasn't. Because I wasn't there and I don't know. Right. But that's critical for that head coach to stop all that kind of bullshit.
Well, and the point is that he was trying to make this happen. And it look, obviously he wasn't communicating with anybody. I've heard the most ridiculous things. Think about this. In the South Carolina game, they literally hadn't scored a touchdown in 6 quarters. 6 quarters from the Texas game to the midway through the game there with South Carolina. They're getting rolled already. Jackson changes the play because Brennan Thompson told him something that he had seen in film. Something that he had seen in film, that if we get in this look, they're not even going to look at me. I'm not running the route. I'm going straight down the field. Throw it to me. They changed the first time they ran the play, he didn't change it, and he got his ass handed to him. The second time, he noticed it. Brennan was signaling it to him, and he takes off, throws a touchdown. Seth Luttrell throws a shit fit at halftime about why they changed the fucking play. Got on to EJ about it. Tell your fucking receivers to run the damn play. He hadn't scored a touchdown in 6 quarters. And these are the things you're getting out of Luttrell. But I'm sure that it was BV's fault. It's all BV's fault. Listen, if he made the hire, it's on him. And it's on him anyway because he takes responsibility for it, unlike a lot of coaches we know.
Exactly. But you're exactly right. I've not heard him blame anybody but himself.
He doesn't. He is as accountable as it gets, and to a fault, mind you. To a fault. It's unbelievable to me. Ouch. Hold on real quick there. Anyway, I'm just saying there's sometimes there's some things that go on that we're not all privy to it. And you know what? I'm lucky that I'm privy to it still on some of this stuff because the connections
Sure.
that I have at the school, the other guys that I work with and who they're connected with, the parents, although Marcus and and Big Mike really don't say shit. They're still new to the program too, but you got to be careful about that stuff. But they're not the only parents I know either. And some of these guys, I mean, you hear things. Some of them are real, some of them aren't. Hell, I know a guy down in Louisiana that's told me as much stuff that was right about like recruiting and shit as anybody that I know at Oklahoma. This dude, he doesn't live in Baton Rouge. He lives in NOLA. And he's never wrong. When he tells me something,
he's on the money.
Money. He told me there wasn't no damn way that and it ended up happening that way, but Dominic McKinley, that defensive lineman, he didn't, you know why he didn't go to LSU at first? He was going to go to A&M because his mom could not stand that D-line coach. And what happened? They had to fire his ass because he lied to him about it, about being religious and all this other shit, being fake as hell. Had it not been for them going and getting, what's his name from Texas, Bo, if they hadn't gotten Bo from Texas, he's not at LSU. That's a fact. And then, of course, Jimbo and them getting the boot. Wild stuff, man. I'm telling you. Wild stuff.
So Jesse has a good question. Can you give us a call of a real example of a halftime adjustment that you made in a game? So I'm going to tell you, we were my first year at Dallas Skyline. We were not very good, but we made the playoffs. We made the playoffs, and we played the number 1 ranked team in the state that year, which was the Longview Lobos, and they were the number 2 ranked team in the nation. And they had been running through people like shit through a goose. And so we catch them in the first round of the playoffs. The Dallas Morning News, all the sports people, I think the best shot they gave us was getting beat by 49 was the best shot. Everybody else was 50 or above. So we go play them on a Saturday afternoon. And I've got to tell you, they did a great job of running the counter tray. They were running the hell out of the counter tray early in the game. Lots of counters, and we were basically a 4-3 cover 2 shell type football team defense. And at halftime, we went in and made the adjustment to go because they were killing us on the ground. Although I will say this, they didn't kill us too bad because we were up at halftime. We were leading 7-3 at halftime, if I recall. I just know we were up. And we go in and we look at what we start talking about as a staff. And I told our defensive staff I wanted to go to 7 a diamond. And what that did is we would put a nose guard instead of having 2 and 3 techniques or 3 and a 1 technique. We were going to take one of those tackles moving head up on the center. We were going to take the other tackle, play him head up on the guard, on the left guard, and we were going to also go head up on the right guard. So center and both guards, we covered them up. We slid the linebacker over into basically a Mike linebacker look. And we came out in the second half, we're just stuffing their ass. And they can't gain any yards because every time they pull, the guy that we have, he's right in the hip pocket making plays on the running back. And they just cannot move the ball on us. So I think they ended up beating us at the end of the game. But I want to say they beat us 7 points. And so we started making believers out of people. And again, it was just from a small, minute adjustment that we made that we knew, if you got people running the counter against you, you got to get in their hip pocket somehow. So it didn't, what that did, guys, just to explain it to you, with that center being covered up, that center was the one blocking back on the defensive tackle. And then you had the guard and tackle that would pull. But with the center being covered up, that center couldn't block back. And now we had the guy covering the guard, that defense tackle covering the guard was now in the hip pocket and we had more tackles for loss than you could shake a stick at.
Some wild ass shit that you were talking about. And I always love the story that you had about, I don't know if you guys probably haven't heard this story, but Dallas Carter was in your district, right?
Mm-hmm.
Carter Cowboys. What's the name of that coach? Freddie
James.
Freddie James, legendary coach in the state of Texas. He's the one that coached all those guys back in the days when Carter was going up against Permian and those guys and winning state championships and national championships. And Odell Beckham's dad played for him. Guys like that. They had some dogs over there. Unbelievably good players, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how long had it been since Skyline had beaten them?
35 years. Oh. It'd been 35 years since, and
district that hadn't beaten them in 35 years.
Same district, and Skyline had not beat them in 35 years. So the first year I go to Skyline and we go play them, they just beat the hell out of us. I mean, they beat us 35 points, maybe more. But then, as we're walking across to shake hands, Coach looks at me, puts his hand out to shake, and I shake his hand, and he says, "Welcome to the neighborhood, Coach." I said, "Okay." And so the next year, guys, I pick them for homecoming. So I keep seeing Freddie. You know, we see each other at coaches' meetings, and he kept telling me, Coach, I can't believe you picked us for homecoming. You're supposed to pick somebody you can beat. You hadn't beat Skyline in 35 years. I said, well, Coach, that's why we picked you, because we're going to beat you. And so this goes on all season long. He's ragging me the whole time. So what we do is we're playing them. We're actually playing them for the district championship. And so we had to go to another stadium to play. But I told my coaches, I said, we're going to do all our pregame right here
Stephen
at
Coleman
our practice
told me
field
this
at the high
story right
school.
here. Stephen Coleman was
And
telling me this story in Dallas that day.
and so I said, we're going to warm up right here. And they said, well, Coach, what are we going to do? What the referees are going to be asking? I said, I got it covered. I sent 2 coaches to the stadium ahead of us. And I told them to tell the referees that our buses hadn't gotten there yet to pick us up. And so we go through our whole pregame. And one of the things Carter was famous for is intimidating you. And I'm telling you, the first year that I'm there when they beat the hell out of us, we're going through warm up. They're walking through our warm up, the players are, and they're telling us, we're going to beat your motherfucking ass. Y'all a bunch of, I mean, they're talking to me too. Coach, you're going to get your ass kicked. And I look at their head coach and say, hey, you going to let that crap go on? He looks at me and says, what crap? So, okay, we got this. So, like I said, the second year, we warm up at the stadium, and I got my 2 coaches. We've already taken all our equipment to the stadium, and the buses are there. They're waiting on us. But we go through all our warm up, and then finally I say, okay, let's load them up. And I got the coaches that are at the stadium. They're calling me and saying, Coach, the officials are getting antsy, and there's only like 8 minutes left on the clock. And we weren't far from the stadium. And so I said, okay, load them up. Let's go. I said, y'all get your helmets strapped up because we are coming right off the bus to the sideline, and we're going to start commencing to kicking their ass. Well, the other thing I had done, the district, that's when black uniforms were big. And I told our coaches, I said, don't tell anybody. The district had called all the head coaches and said, we are not buying any black uniforms for your schools. You wear your school colors because we're not going to buy any more uniforms. So I went to my principal. She was incredible. I said, hey, I want to buy some black uniforms for the Carter game. She said, Coach, you were told not to. I said, no, I was told that the district wasn't going to buy any more. But we've got money to go buy some. I want you to buy the black uniforms. She did. I bought black uniforms, and our colors were Columbia and blue and white. So our numbers and our lettering, skyline, everything was Columbia blue and white. And then obviously the black uniforms. Well, the guys don't know this until they come in to get ready for the game. I've already got everything hung up on their lockers. They went nuts. They thought that pumped them up. So anyway, we load the bus. We head over to the stadium. When we pull in, there's 2 minutes, about 2:15, something like that on the clock. We got 2 bus loads. We pull up. They let us drive all the way into right to where we could get off and go to the sideline. And it was obviously, like I said, it was homecoming. The stadium was packed. It was probably close to 20,000. And we also, even around the fences, it was like 4 to 5 people deep around the fence. And we pull in, they open those doors and our guys start coming, and they've already got their helmets on. They're ready to go. They climb out of there. I get chills talking about this, but they're climbing out of the bus and they're headed to the sideline. We get on the sideline. My coaches had to do the coin toss since we didn't have anybody there, and so we climb on their ass right away. Had a little kicker that all we had done is squib kick the ball the whole week because we didn't want them to return one. They had more speed and we had speed too. Don't misunderstand, but we didn't want to give them an opportunity. So we kick off to them, can't even talk, squib kick to them, and they get about a 10-yard return, and we hold them on defense. We get the ball back. We go score. So we're up 14-0, just like that on. Well, my little kicker, we're up 14-0, and he goes, we know we're squib kicking. That's all we've worked on. Well, next thing I look up, and I'm saying no. I see him approaching the ball. I know what's fixing to happen. He kicks it high and deep.
Oh, no.
And I'll be damned if they don't return it for a damn touchdown. So now we're 14-7.
Coleman
And
said
I'm
that
telling you.
they were hiding his ass from you. They were hiding his ass from you.
I'm looking for his ass, and he's hiding behind those big linemen because he was a little bitty. I got him from the soccer team because he could kick the hell out of the ball.
Yeah.
But anyway, finally I find him, and his name was Jose. I said, Jose, what in the hell are you doing? We worked on squib kick the whole time. What did you do that for? He said, and this is his response, Coach, I forgot. I was so excited. And I told him, if you do that shit again, I'm sending you to the Carter sideline. And again, the game continued on. We beat their ass for the first time in 35 years. So we walk across the field. I meet Freddie James to shake his hand. He shakes my hand, and I said, Coach James, I'm beginning to like the neighborhood.
One of my favorite stories from Coach's
stuff.
award stories, man. Good stuff, man. It's great shit. And it was even, when me and Steven were, I forget, you went and got on the phone when he was hanging out with us that night at Live.
Yeah.
And I was like, tell me what he was like. He said, man, we loved him. And so Stephen Coleman, Coach found him out of the hallways at Skyline. He wasn't even playing football.
No.
Didn't want to.
And you can't believe how many kids I pulled out of the halls.
Well, and he even said, though, but I mean, he changed his life right there. Coach, he went and played at Oklahoma.
No. He's, Stephen Coleman was a good player for us, obviously, and a good player for Oklahoma. And, those are the things that, and you and I have talked about this before. It's a deal that, you coach. I always did a deal called Coaching to Change Lives. It was a curriculum that I used. And it was not only about football, but changing their lives to be not only better players, but be better people. And I have tons of my ex-players that stay in touch with me and communicate with me. And they say things to me, guys, that just, it makes my heart feel so good.
Thank you for the good stuff, chat, Jesse. Appreciate the super chat here. Great story. Thanks for sharing it. And that was the first one. And NIL Kill Wazoo, hey man, thank you so much for coming in. But I appreciate it. It was a great story, right? It's one of my favorite ones. And it's just Neilio talks about that. And I like this one too. He said, I was down in Houston a year after I graduated from K-State. Carter traveled to Southwest Houston to take on Fort Bend Willow Ridge, and future receiver Mike Miller ran by every Cowboy all night. Hey, it changed a lot though, but Skyline, because Samples, did he replace you? Was Samples replaced you?
No. They had a guy, I'm trying to think of his name. He was at Louisville Marcus and had been very, very successful at Louisville, Marcus. And he came and replaced me, and then Samples followed him because the guy that replaced me didn't really pee a drop. And then that's when Reginald came in, and Reginald was at one of the other schools in Dallas. And I thought he was a good football coach. And then he came into Skyline and took them to the next level.
Well, he's obviously done a great job. I mean, but then EJ took over for him, right? Emmett took over for him.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Yeah. And Emmett's been a hell of a coach. I think that the people that, this is why when I was talking about those guys with, you better lay down, dude. When I was talking about those guys that are over there, it's not the Sooner Surge guys that bother me. So it's those knuckleheads and what they let them get away with in there. Saying the shit that they say that, that there's no rhyme or reason to a lot of it. And that's the stuff that bothers me. Because in the end, there's so much that goes on that you don't know about. Just like you said a minute ago, you don't know about it. And all these things that are going on, in the end, it's all the responsibility of the head coach. But when we know what we know about what Joe C has allowed and not allowed and stuff like that, when you kind of knew it started, I was brought it up earlier tonight. We started talking about turnip seed. That was important to Venables for you to keep turnip seed around, and they didn't do it because of Joe C. And that stuff with Art Briles, with Levy, that wasn't the first time he had been down there on the field. That was the first time that somebody took a picture of it and put the shit on Twitter, and and Oklahoma fans threw a shit fit about it, acting like it was a beacon of freaking women's rights in the state. Come on, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Well,
that was a shit move. But and I'll tell you, part of that I was not happy with BV. He should have stood up there. There's some things that he definitely has to get better at. There's no
I agree
around it.
I agree. He's learning, man. He's learning. You know what you learn from, just like I used to tell our players when we lose, I'd say, we learn more out of our losses than we do out of our victories. And it's the same thing in coaching. You learn more out of your mistakes than you learn out of your successes. And he's obviously having to go through some mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so
Ohio State champs. I have nothing to do with scheduling the game, just like you don't.
But I'll tell you what it is, though. You don't fucking. Here's the deal: they ain't having it. They're not going to go up against the NFL in the playoffs.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
No.
And they play your answer. Saturday playoff games. It's still the NFL.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Detroit getting beat by Washington was a weird deal. Wow.
Yeah. Maybe Dallas would look at hiring him away from the Lions.
They had Campbell?
Yeah.
Shit, no, man. You know how it is. Jerry's
after that loss, though, they may go after him.
Well, if he can push him around enough. I can't believe that he lost again like that. That's 2 years in a row that they kind of gagged it away at the end.
Yeah.
With really the better team in the game. I mean, I think the Niners shouldn't have been in that position, but they should have lost that game for sure last year.
Yeah.
That was wild, man. That was wild stuff.
I agree. I agree.
In the end, look, I'm going to say this, and when it all comes down to the stuff with the look, man, I said what I said on that video, and I was mostly aiming that at those other players. And when they brought up that stuff, when I went in there to contribute, and I was talking in the chat, I wasn't going after them. I was talking about the guys that were in the chat room and the shit that they were saying in there, which was dumb stuff. Because I'm going to tell you now, if Jim Knowles, and I'm not sure that this isn't going to happen anyway, by the way, if they do get Jim Knowles, and they're about to get him, that's we can.
No, they're not. No, they're not about to get him.
Well, thank her. So
Lucy's about to get him.
Hey, did you get that song?
I did. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Let's play it right at the end, though. Let's play it right. Is it
I'll
on
see if I can pull it up.
Is it on YouTube or something?
No, shit, it's not. I'm going to send it to you as a recording.
Okay, if you do that, if you send it as a recording,
I'm going to have to pay for it and shit first.
Ooh.
But I'll get it to you though.
We'll do it later. Hey, I'll tell you what. When they get him to come over there on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever they make that hire, which I think should be by Thursday, I would think. Yeah, they turned that ball over 4 times. Nobody's beating the Chiefs. No, I don't believe so. Jared Goff isn't very good. You're right. Yeah. Daniels is it? Hey man, I was one of the few people that was saying that he was the Heisman guy for me last year. That's all there was to it. I wasn't on that Penix train. Not me. Not me. He had a better season than Joe Burrow had the year that they won the Natty. He had a better season than Kyler Murray had the year he won the Heisman. It had to be Daniels. If they had a defense.
Everybody get serious. Everybody get serious. Well, Lucy's not.
You're gonna have to send that shit. I can't hear it. It's trash. It doesn't sound good.
Here's
Hey, coach, just in case, I don't want it to demonetize us. So let me check it. If you've bought it and we can use it, then we'll do
okay.
it. Otherwise, I'll have to trim it out.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, it didn't sound good anyways. It sounded bad. Lucy needed an NIL deal, Jimmy said.
Oh,
yeah, I like that.
I think she had a DIC. I think she had a DIC deal.
Yeah. Yeah, the Commanders. Hey, man. Well, and here's the thing: the Commanders. It's easy to put it on Jaden on Daniels because he did a great job. Don't get me wrong, but the fact is they got one of the best defensive coaches in the league running that head as the head coach, and as long as you got somebody doing, I mean, look, I'm not a Cliff Kingsbury guy at all. But I'll tell you, he can call an offense as long as he ain't in charge of anything, and you can get him to do what you want him to do, which that coach, he'll make it happen. But and Jaden Daniels is a dog, man. He's a stud. I'll tell you who. Caleb Williams, he's still not making very good decisions, man. Yeah. Yeah. No. I don't want to do that. Yeah, we're not going to do it, and I can trim it out of there as soon as it's over with. So
good.
And I don't think enough of it got in, but that was at like the 222 mark. I'll make sure.
Okay. Sorry, Jason.
No, shit. No, it's okay. I mean, it'll usually what it does. If you do something like that, it'll just go in and it'll tell you that they can't monetize it. You can't monetize that video, or you can trim it out. They'll trim it out for you.
Okay.
But I'd rather it not get to that.
Well,
point.
they probably couldn't even understand
it. Huh?
They probably couldn't even understand it.
Probably not, but you never know, man. That software is pretty fucking good with that stuff. They catch it fast.
Well, and it's you spell it Loosey, Lucy, and the other word is P. The other word is POOSEY.
That's funny.
That's
Like
how they
the
got around
Halloween
it back in the day.
hog. That's hilarious. Wow. That's funny.
Oh,
I'll find it. I don't think it's gonna. Well, maybe.
Neilio, you're 100% correct. Just don't let it, and Jason said it already. Just don't let Cliffy be in charge of anything except the quarterbacks and the offense.
He's a piece of shit too. The stuff
Neilio.
I know about that guy is not good. It is
No.
not good. I told you about all that, didn't I?
Yeah.
The stuff with that dentist over there. Ugh.
Yep.
I'll
Well,
tell you what.
and it
Cliff,
amazes me.
you got to be damn happy that he got fired and kicked the fuck out of Lubbock because he was about to probably be hung up in that
Dead.
shit too.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of it.
Yep.
No good. Lincoln Riley quarterbacks take a few years to accumulate the NFL play call. Well, they definitely didn't have a very good play caller. I'll give you that much. They definitely did not. But the thing about man, I tell you, Caleb he's gotten worse every year though. And he's got this. I'll tell you what, talented as he is, he's definitely believes in himself, which is half the battle, at least. But I would tell you that he's gonna have to. Somebody's gonna have to get a hold of him and have him start doing things the right way. You can't. His career won't last long ad-libbing so much. It won't.
No.
You
Those
can't get away with
guys,
that shit.
no. Not at that level.
They'll get your ass at that level.
Those guys hitting you are a hell of a lot meaner, faster, bigger, faster, stronger than those at the collegiate level.
And I mean, in college you can get away with it. There might be one or two guys a year that you go up against that are as good as you, even in the best conferences.
Yeah.
It ain't like that. It ain't like that in the NFL. They were all that guy.
Well, they're the best of the best.
That's right. That 3% of guy, 1%, whatever it is. I think it's about 3% of guys that play. They get there. But all right, guys, we've been going for about 2 hours and 28 minutes. Yeah, Detroit will see he could, but Johnson's smart enough not to want to work with the Bears administration. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the problem with Chicago's been it's been a shit show. Hey, man, I remember back they won the Super Bowl and it was a shit show then. Remember Buddy and
Yeah.
you couldn't get along for shit. I mean, even I still can't understand how Mike Ditka didn't get Walter Payton a touchdown in the fucking Super Bowl. Most unbelievable thing ever. You get Fridge one, but you don't get one for Walter.
You don't get one for Walter.
Unbelievable.
Incredible.
Super Bowl shuffle year, but I mean, think about it. That's the last time they had a decent quarterback, I think.
Yep, it is.
Pretty much. Jay Cutler was okay.
He was all right.
Rex Grossman? No.
Nothing to call home about.
Nope. All right, guys. Yeah, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun, man. I appreciate everybody coming in. It is now Sunday morning. We are one day away from the national championship game. Notre Dame, Ohio State. We'll be back in here for sure on Monday morning for Rise and Shine College Football. We might jump in here tomorrow night and see kind of what it is, but we'll definitely be on Monday night after the Natty's over with. Let's see how it goes. I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for this. Look, man, this has been a great season. Great season to watch. I like it that this lasted a little longer. I mean, we'd be at least a week clear of the national championship game.
Yes. At least a week because
2 weeks.
They just got through having the national coaches convention, and it was the week prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
Is so we're almost running almost 2 weeks deeper.
Yeah. I didn't say wait. I just happened to be in the Astrodome the night. Joe F. in Montana brought his Chiefs down and beat the favorite Oilers and that Buddy Ryan 46.
That
Might have been the last
defense.
time Buddy was good.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember him beating the shit out of Kevin Gilbride on the sideline too. Buddy kicking his ass. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Beat the shit out of the OC. That was fucking great.
That was hilarious.
That was good shit, man.
That was
He
hilarious.
didn't give a flying fuck. He did not give a. Buddy Ryan was a gangster.
He was a gangster.
He was a gangster.
He was one of the last of the hardcore
Damn
coaches.
right he was. He kicked your ass.
I love it.
I was watching that. I don't remember if it was a Singletary documentary or if it was about Buddy. I think it was a Singletary. The Singletary went out to see him, and he was pretty old and sickly. I mean, on his pretty near death at this point. Singletary comes walking in the house. Oh, there's old Singletary. So there's old Singletary. I was like, oh shit, man. He's still a tough old bird, man. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff, man.
Hey guys, I have one thing to say, Jason. Go Irish. Guys, we're going to shock the world Monday night. I'm just telling you.
To you Ohio State fans.
And call your team trash. Because that's what they are, trash.
We are going to shock the world.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I got to show you. Oh, damn it. Let me get that camera on it. Look, I got it up there. The prediction. Can y'all see that? 23-20.
23-20.
On the wall.
Woo!
Don't forget.
I'm telling you. That shitty kicker we have is going to win it for us.
Just get a cross emoji for Notre Dame. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Hold on now.
My boy Shotty, you keeping stats on those kickers?
Is Shotty in there?
No, I'm just talking shit.
Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. Let me throw something else in there.
Shotty don't come on now. He won't come on till after the national championship.
Yeah, man, you ruined his ass.
If Notre Dame wins, he may not be on here for the next 6 months.
Oh, look, he says, gonna see Jason's new DC stomp a mud hole in them Irish. Well, I'm not rooting for him tomorrow, but I'm rooting for his ass to be here. But there we go. I'll throw up the cross and the shamrock. We're going for the Irish.
There we go, baby.
Going for the Irish here for sure.
I love it.
Throw up the sign of the cross here for us Catholics.
There you go.
And then call it a day. Touchdown Jesus is pretty cool. Hey, man, look forward to it. Hey, we'll either be back in here tomorrow night, for sure Monday morning, and we'll be back in here Monday night also to talk about what happens in the game, man. Either way it goes down, I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a great football game. I really do.
I think so, too.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a great matchup. Two hard-hitting teams. Here we go. I'm not cheering.
I agree.
Hey, listen, I don't need to cheer for Knowles. I think it might be better if they get beat, because then they'll marshal his ass right out of there. No,
that's right.
I think it's already done. I think today they asked him about it at the media availability, and all he said was all he was thinking about was Notre Dame. He didn't say no. He didn't say yes. You always know. You always
exactly
know by the answer.
Coaches give you those bullshit answers.
I was covering Bobby Knight, he said the same kind of shit. Responded without responding, and that's when you know that they're interested. So it is what
absolutely.
It is. All right, man. Should be a good one. We're gonna enjoy it either way. I'm sure. Actually, I gotta do one thing. Shit, that one.
Neilio, you right, brother. Neilio,
Irish, he says.
Hey, you gonna tap that blonde?
Right.
The last thing Neilio said. Ain't that the truth?
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, here we go, man. I'm gonna get on out of here. Thank you guys for coming in. We'll see you all on the next one.